This is Voices of Life, a ministry of the Church for life today's. Did you know? Explores one of the most extraordinary constitutional moments in American history. A moment shaped by the long political journey of Richard Nixon, the steady leadership of Gerald Ford, and the resilience of the American Constitution. And now, here is your host, Pastor David.
Welcome to the Voices of Life. I'm Pastor David. Today we look at two men whose lives intersect at one of the most dramatic turning points in our nation's history. One man rose through decades of political battles to reach the presidency, only to see it collapse under the weight of scandal. The other spent a lifetime in quiet, faithful public service, never seeking the presidency, yet becoming the leader called upon to steady a shaken nation. Did you know that Richard Milhouse Nixon's journey to the presidency began in a small California town long before Watergate ever entered the national vocabulary? Nixon was born in 1913 in Yorba Linda, California, and grew up helping in his family's grocery store. He worked hard, earned scholarships, and graduated from Whittier College and Duke University of School of Law. He returned home to practice law, but World War II changed his path. Nixon joined the U.S. Navy, serving as an operations officer in the Pacific. After the war, Nixon entered politics. He won a seat in the U.S. House of Representatives in 1946, gaining national attention through his role in the Alger Hiss investigation. He then won a seat in the U.S. Senate in 1950, and soon became Vice President of the United States under Dwight D. Eisenhower, serving from 1953 to 1961. Nixon's political life was dramatic. He lost the 1960 presidential election to John F. Kennedy. He lost the 1962 California governor's race and famously told reporters they won't have Nixon to kick around anymore. But he was not finished. In 1968, Nixon made one of the greatest political comebacks in American history, winning the presidency. His administration opened relations with China, advanced détente with the Soviet Union, ended the military draft, created the EPA and OSHA, and negotiated the end of American involvement in Vietnam. Nixon's presidency was consequential, but it also was fragile. Did you know that Nixon's downfall began with a burglary? A burglary he had absolutely nothing to do with. However, on June 17, 1972, 5 men broke into the Democratic National Committee headquarters at the Watergate complex. What followed was not just a crime, but a cover-up that reached the highest levels of government. Investigations uncovered secret White House recordings. In the United States v. Nixon, the Supreme Court unanimously ordered Nixon to surrender the tapes. The House Judiciary Committee approved articles of impeachment with Republican support. On August 8, 1974, Nixon addressed the nation. The next day at noon, he resigned, becoming the first and only U.S. president to resign from office. His resignation letter contained just one sentence: "I hereby resign the office of President of the United States." The problem with Nixon was not that he planned or was part of the burglary, but when he found out about it, he did not bring it forward. He then covered it up. And that is what led to his downfall. Did you know that Gerald Ford's path to the presidency was unlike any other in American history? Ford was born in 1913 in Omaha, Nebraska, and raised in Grand Rapids, Michigan. He was a gifted athlete, playing football for the University of Michigan, even receiving offers from the Detroit Lions and Green Bay Packers. But Ford chose law school instead, graduating from Yale Law School in 1941. During World War II, Ford served aboard the USS Monterey, participating in major Pacific operations. After the war, he returned to Michigan, practiced law, taught business courses, and coached football. In 1948, Ford was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives, where he served 25 years. He became House Republican Minority Leader, known for honesty, moderation, and a calm, steady temperament. Ford never sought national executive office. He never ran for vice president. He never ran for president. But history had other plans. Did you know Ford became vice president because of a constitutional amendment ratified only a few years earlier? When Vice President Spiro Agnew resigned in 1973, the 25th Amendment allowed President Nixon to nominate a replacement. Congress overwhelmingly confirmed Ford, and he became vice president on December 6, 1973. Just 8 months later, Nixon resigned, and Ford became the 38th president of the United States. Ford famously told the nation, "Our long nation nightmare is over." Then he added, "Our Constitution works." Ford was the only person in American history to serve both vice president and president without being elected to either office. Did you know that Ford inherited one of the most difficult presidencies in modern history? He faced high inflation, energy shortages, economic stagnation, lingering wounds from Vietnam, a distrustful public, a Congress dominated by Democrats, and a Republican Party damaged by Watergate. Ford believed his mission was to restore trust. He traveled, spoke plainly, and worked to calm the nation. 1 month after taking office, Ford made a decision he believed was necessary for healing. He issued a full and unconditional pardon to Richard Nixon. The decision was controversial and cost him politically, but Ford insisted it was the right thing to do for the country. Ford served until January 20th, 1977, when he was succeeded by Jimmy Carter. The stories of Richard Nixon and Gerald Ford remind us that leadership is shaped not only by ambition, but by character. Nixon's rise and fall shows the weight of responsibility. Ford's quiet steadiness shows the power of integrity in a moment of national crisis. Thank you for joining me on this Did You Know episode of Voices of Life, a ministry of the Church for Life. Until next time, may God bless you and keep you.
Thank you for listening to Voices of Life moments. Like these remind us how history shapes the world we live in today. Join us next time as we continue exploring the stories that help us understand our past and strengthen our future. Until then, may you walk in wisdom, peace, and the grace of God.